Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? It is day 12 of RPG A Day 2021. And our word for today is think. Got this cat right here that's bothering me for attention. If you're like me, well, let's be honest, who in their right mind wouldn't be or wouldn't at least want to be like me? When I'm not playing RPGs, which is most of the time, I think about them. Not all the time. I think about a lot of other things, to be quite honest. But sometimes I think about RPGs. I think about the games that I'm involved in, the games I'm running and the games I'm playing in. How did things go? What did I like about it? What did I not like about it? What were the events in play? Um, the experiences we had, the interactions between the players. I start to think about what are my plans? What do I want to see happen next time, or what I hope to have happen? What kind of stuff would I prepare if I'm the game master? What kind of stuff am I thinking about long term for my character? I think about my character. I think about the other characters. Who they are. Reflect on all that kind of stuff. I very often think about what games would I like to play next? Which games would I like to run? Which games would I like to be a player in? What would I do with those games? What kind of character would I want to make? What kind of game would I like to run? What kind of things would I like to do with that particular game or genre or idea? All that kind of stuff, those mechanics. Very often, I think about different ideas, different role-playing games, different genres. How would a role-playing game like that be? I read role-playing games, new ones, and I think to myself, well, what would this be like? What are these mechanics like? What are these mechanics actually doing here? How are these things actually working? What are these procedures actually like? I wonder what playing this would be like. I wonder, who I would play it with, who might like this game. I think an awful lot about the interactions and the reactions of different people to different games and different types of play. How different people tend to want different things sometimes, or tend to approach role-playing games differently. Why is that? What happens when we play together? What happens when we try to, accommodate everybody, not accommodate everybody? Where have we screwed up, not screwed up? Who would like this game? Who wouldn't like this game? What would this be like? Who would I play this with? Those sorts of things. I wonder, if there are 2 or 3 or 4 or 27 games in a particular genre, which one would I want to use for what, or with which people? That sort of stuff. And then, of course, I start to think about, designing games in general, modifying games. What would I do? How would I approach this? If I were to design a game this way. And I start to think an awful lot, though, about the various interactions, that people have. All those various things that go into the RPG experience. All the things that we do. How does this work? How does this other thing work? When we use this technique, or play with these people, or intentionally do one thing or another. I think an awful lot about what's happened in our sessions. When I watch myself play, when I watch other people play. Tend to deconstruct and take all those things apart, quite often. And the thing is, there's nothing new under the sun. I'm certainly not the first person to think about all of these things. And in fact, the book, The Elusive Shift, which I have not quite finished reading, but I've read most of it, this drives home the fact that before I ever started thinking about this, before my friends started thinking about this, before all of the people that we normally associate with RPG theory, and the people in the groups we associate with thinking those deep thoughts, way before that, and in some cases even before there were proper role-playing games, there were people already thinking and talking about these very things. And so nothing new under the sun whatsoever. However, there's a lot of value in coming to conclusions for ourselves, for doing our own thinking. Seb and I were talking, Nolan Quizner and I were talking quite some time ago about the joy and the importance of coming up with the answer for yourself, whatever that might be. And that, just coming to your own conclusions. You can look at what other people have done, what other people have thought, and decide, okay, well, I see why they came to this, or I see why we disagree. But it's important to come to your own conclusions, do your own thinking. And this is not just a theoretical exercise, like physics, like a lot of the sciences, all the sciences really. We can't just rely on theory. There is experimentation. We actually have to go out there and play the games. We have to try the different ideas. And we have to make the observations, like in the real, in the environment, in the wild. See how this actually all really works, and not just read the game and think, well, what it would be like. Actually try it, play test. Do all those kind of things, and then come back with those observations and think about it some more. Pretty cool, don't you think? See you later.